Hey guys, welcome back to another pickup video. Today I'm going to be going over my pickups for December 2019. I hope everyone had a great holiday season. I hope your hauls are as nice as mine. I have a really nice stack of stuff here to go over, and we'll start with Tammy and the T-Rex from Vinegar Syndrome. This is the lenticular slipcover, and as you can see, it's more of a 3D slip. It doesn't have much movement on it. There's the back. And the disc case is the same exact artwork here. This is the 4K version, which includes the Blu Ray. This is Vinegar Syndrome's first 4K release. And why not this? I guess I can't think of a much better example of a good 4K release than this. They did a really good job here. Looks fantastic in 4K. Kind of an obscure film. I guess it was a shot as a gory, like unrated, X-rated monster movie. And then they got recut down to like a PG or G family film. And this version was lost for a long time, but now it's been found. Vinegar Syndrome did a really nice job with the restoration here. And just a stupid, mindless monster movie where Paul Walker's brain gets put into an animatronic T-Rex and just kind of wreaks havoc. Oozes early 90s, but real fun movie here from Vinegar Syndrome. I'm really glad to have this one. And the slipcover is great, as usual. Their releases are always really nice here. So an A+ release from Vinegar Syndrome, even though the film itself may not be all that great. And these Vinegar Syndrome titles are all from their Black Friday sale. This is the reissue of their slipcover of Luther the Geek on Blu Ray. And as always with these Vinegar Syndrome titles, again, their slipcovers are just really nice. There's some alternate cover work. This was my sleeper hit of all the ones I got from Black Friday. I really enjoyed this one here. This was a Trauma distributed film, I think, not produced, but they at least did the distribution on it. Follows a guy named Luther, who is basically a modern day circus geek who, instead of biting the heads off of animals, kills people by biting them in the neck. Really cool, I think early 90s, maybe late 80s, like slasher home invasion film, but definitely the funnest one of the lot by far. This was a nice surprise for me, Luther the Geek from Vinegar Syndrome. My biggest disappointment is Christmas Evil from Vinegar Syndrome. Looks great, sounds great, nice slipcover. I was thinking this is going to be more along the lines of Silent Night, Deadly Night, but it really felt more like the 2019 version of Joker, except instead of a clown, it was a man dressed as Santa Claus who just wanted to spread cheer and joy and ended up finding nothing but naughty boys and girls and greedy men and women and does some good deeds and then ends up killing a bunch of people. So maybe like a proto slasher. So I guess it can't really fault it too much. It didn't really know what it wanted to be, I don't think, fully. If this were made maybe 5-10 years after, it probably would have had a much different identity. But still, nonetheless, glad to have it in my collection. I know it's kind of an obscure title, but they did a really nice job again on a presentation. If nothing else, the slipcover is really cool. Another weak one here, I think, is Berserker. And this is the Blu Ray and DVD. And this one follows a group of teens that go camping. And one of them has been going camping there for a very long time. And there's an old, I think it's a Norse legend about a creature, half man, half bear, called a Berserker that roams the woods and kills people. And they throw some red herrings in there. I know it's not a really in-depth review, but it's a fun movie. But again, it just kind of, to me, it dragged a little bit and didn't really go in the direction I thought it was going to go. Acting wasn't all that great in it, and it was kind of let down. I thought it would be more of like a Friday the 13th type slasher. I didn't really know much about it. I read up a little bit on it. I guess not well enough because kind of missed the mark for me. It wasn't terrible, but I think probably, besides Christmas Evil, probably the weakest of the lot for me. Next one here is Spookies. Again, Vinegar Syndrome Blu Ray DVD. Really nice slipcover here. This is one of 2 slipcovers that they released during their Black Friday sale, and I think this was one of the secret releases that they did this year for Black Friday. And this was another troubled production. They shot the movie or started to shoot the movie, and then they ended the production and they restarted the production a couple years later on. They recast some parts, and there's a lot of times in the film where I'm watching this thinking there's this guy, he's a guy that they call like the werecat, who's just kind of sneaking around the house, and then he'd be sneaking away, and then no one ever saw him in person, that he was just kind of around. And those are the 2 productions, and they just kind of spliced them together and tried to make them as seamless as possible, but I think they ultimately failed. Kind of a haunted house movie. A lot of fun. Really nice creature effects. Music was really good. The film itself was kind of all over the place, but this was a VHS gem back in the day, in the days of early, I guess, late 80s rental stores, and they did a great transfer on this. They made this movie look like $1 million, even though it was kind of a hodgepodge on the production. So Spookies, Blu-ray, DVD from Vinegar Syndrome. I don't think either slipcover is in stock right now. Once they're gone, they're gone. But I do believe the film itself is available. So worth checking out. Read up on it a little bit. Kind of a fun, haunted house movie. But again, a nice addition to the collection because that slipcover is really cool. Another one I really enjoyed here, though, was Unmasked Part 25. As you can see, it's obviously a take on Friday the 13th. There's a guy whose name was Mason, I think it was. And trying to see if it says in the back here. I watch it. Can't remember. So I think his name is Mason. And he basically has a disfigured person wearing this mask to cover his disfigurement, and goes around and kills horny kids. So, yeah. A lot of fun, though. Definitely a parody of Friday the 13th. It's not trying to be Friday the 13th. It uses those films as a comedic base, and does so pretty well. Not a great movie, again. Corny, cheesy, low budget, but this one was a lot of fun. I think I enjoyed this one probably second most after Luther the Geek. Really, really cool movie here. And finally, Pledge Night. And that slip, it's got a real reflective coating out there. This is another one that didn't really know what it wanted to be. This started more of as like a crude, like college movie, like a crude frat type movie, and then ended up being more of like a like a paranormal slasher towards the end. So it kind of was two movies in one in a way. Again, I bought these all on a whim. Didn't really know much about them. This one, I will fully admit, I pulled the video store trick as I would as a kid. The cover looked really cool, so I went ahead and threw up my card and bought it. Fun movie, but again, kind of hit and miss. I don't know if everyone's going to like it. With that being said, I honestly did enjoy all of these ones. Some were stronger than others, but really nice way to bolster your Vinegar Syndrome collection during their Black Friday sale. They have awesome sales, a lot of obscure titles, and ultimately they're all very enjoyable because they're titles that not a lot of people have heard of before, or they're kind of lost gems, and they do a great job with the restorations. They do a great job with the packaging, so if nothing else, you'll get a decent film with a really, really nice package. Finally, from Vinegar Syndrome, this was the biggest thing I got for them, was the Amityville set. With the they do a really cool job again with their packaging. There's really nice slip here. That's the only thing I haven't gotten into yet. But these are the direct-to-video, maybe made-for-TV Amityville movies. I honestly don't know too much about them, but on the Black Friday sale, it's really hard to pass up at 50% off. Box is really, really nice. Really, really nice presentation here. I've heard these all look really, really good. I guess depending on your taste, the films, again, maybe hit or miss, and it'd be really good, then it'd be really bad. But it's a real nice piece to my Vinegar Syndrome collection. I'm really happy to have this. And again, ultimately, I probably wouldn't have gotten this if it weren't on sale, but I'm glad that I did because it's helps complete my Vinegar Syndrome set. Moving on here, I'm not going to show the whole thing because I did do a video about this. This is the Phantasm Sphere collection. It has the 5 Phantasm films. So it's from Well Go USA, a little bit different from their previous releases. It comes in a big box with the Sphere. I'll throw a link to my other video if you guys want to take a look at my first impressions video. I haven't had a chance to go through this yet, but it's got the same release of Phantasm 1 that was in the previous set, but a brand new release of Phantasm 2. This is a unrated cut, and it's a 4K scan, and I heard they corrected some other imperfections with the just originally there was some wobble on some of the scenes in this one here, and there's a few scenes of I think the Sphere killing some people. There's some added in gore that was actually done and inserted into the film itself as opposed to just being an extra. But you get Phantasm 3, Phantasm 4, Oblivion, and then Phantasm 5, Ravager, and then you get a bonus disc on the end here. For $100, I thought this was overall an underwhelming release based on the packaging because these are in discs, are in these little sleeves here. These can get damaged and scratched really, really easily, as opposed to being into at least an individual poppet where you could just put it on there and a spindle and put it on and take it off without damaging the disc. The sphere is pretty cool, but I know, and the release itself was kind of, again, a hodgepodge here. This was released, and Best Buy got first crack at it. They had a bunch of them. I think some stores got as many as 2 or 3 of them. They sold out. I know Diabolic DVD had a handful. Those sold out. So I know it's a limited set, but doing it in phases like this is kind of strange. Like, I don't know, is Amazon going to get some next? I think Diabolic said they were going to get some in again pretty soon, but it'd be limited quantity. So I got crack at it, first crack at it going to Best Buy, picking it up. I got a set that was in relatively good condition, but I will be putting these discs into a multi-disc case just to get them out of here, which is a shame because this is actually a really nice looking set. I also had to store the discs differently so they don't get damaged. I want to keep them pristine. So MVD Video was having a sale, or MVD was having a sale, and I picked up Schlock, Arrow video release, and the De Niro and De Palma, the early days, or the early years, also from Arrow Video, 3 movies on 2 discs. MVD had these on sale for $9.99 a piece, and this was one of their flash sales. This may have been underpriced. I checked back a couple days after it, and it was marked down from $60 or so down to $24.99. So they may have mispriced it, or maybe they sold a bunch of them and figured they can cash in and just make a little bit more. I don't know. But I got these 2 great Arrow video releases for $9.99 a piece. I'm really looking forward to digging into this. I heard some of these movies are kind of, again, hit or miss, but it's a nice piece of film history to see some of these early works, and to get it for such a good price was really hard to pass up. I got a bunch of stuff here from Scream Factory. Got Black Christmas with a slipcover. And not a big deal here, but this is an eBay purchase, but the case is cracked. I can always replace that, no big deal. Disc itself, though, or discs, special features and a Blu Ray there, all look great. Again, another proto slasher. Not as underwhelming as Christmas Evil, but again, it's one of these early slasher films. I think we're still kind of establishing the genre back in the 70s. Well done. Canadian production. You can definitely tell it's a Canadian production. But it's a very early type slasher film. I think, again, it was made a few years later on. They would have been able to maybe piggyback on some more successful slashers, but I think in the early days, they all kind of piggybacked off of each other. So what one wasn't, the next one was, and the next one after that maybe took from those other 2. So a decent slasher film. Again, a little underwhelming, but I think I like this one better than Christmas Evil. But with this, Christmas Evil and the Silent Night, Deadly Night, I guess it kind of completes the trifecta of early Christmas-themed slasher films. And I got it with a slip, which is a nice bonus here, and then got it for a decent price there on eBay. New release here from Scream Factory is Silver Bullet, based on the Stephen King novel, I do believe, starring Corey Haim. There's a really boring cover art there. Again, really nice recent slew of these artworks here on their slipcovers. A really nice werewolf film. If I had to rank this with other werewolf films, I'd probably put it maybe directly behind American Werewolf in London. Definitely above The Howling. I liked it. It was a fun werewolf movie. Again, kind of early, but fun, enjoyable little romp here. Get a really young Corey Haim and a very crazy Gary Busey. I got a pair here. Haven't opened this one yet, but this is the Scream Factory release of Robocop 2 with a slipcover. Again, this was also an eBay purchase. And then Robocop 3 with the slipcover, also a Scream Factory release. Definitely paid up for the Part 2 one, unfortunately. I wasn't able to find one that was a steal, but I did want to get these both. Mainly because I got the Arrow video release of Robocop last month, and I wanted to complete the set with these 2 here. Definitely Part 2 is the strongest of the sequels. Part 3, they recast Murphy, and it was what it was. But I do enjoy Part 2 quite a bit. Definitely want to get as many of these slips as I can. I know I've said it before, I'm not going for a complete collection with the slips, but it seems that I'm headed that way because every time I look for these things, I always have to get it with the slipcover. So I know these are readily available without the slips on Amazon, but again, I paid up a little bit for Part 2 for the slip. Part 3 is relatively inexpensive with or without the slipcover. I have not opened this one yet either. This is the, not Arrow Video, it's the Scream Factory release, the Fly Collection. Looks like it was upside down. The Fly Collection here. Bunch of different Fly movies. They went The Fly, Return to the Fly, Curse of the Fly, and then the Fly remake, the Cronenberg remake, and then The Fly 2, which was, of course, a sequel to the remake. A little annoying is they do have the Vincent Price Collection Volume 2, which I believe has The Fly, or maybe Return to the Fly on it. So now I own that movie 2 times in 2 separate Scream Factory collections. But really nice box here. I like the artwork that they put together for this. And if nothing else, the original Fly, and especially the remake. The remake for me, because again, it's one of those ones that I saw before, 2 classic films. But a nice little collection here. Hopefully they do some single releases, because I know there's a version of The Fly, the remake, that's out on Blu Ray right now, but it's relatively inexpensive, and I don't know if these are all new scans or not, but it'd just be nice to be able to get some of these individually as opposed to being forced to buy the box set. But nice set to my collection. My Scream Factory collection is definitely growing by leaps and bounds here. And kind of some oddball stuff here. The Steelbook release of Heathers on Blu Ray. Definitely a nostalgic romp for me. Not a great film, definitely not as good as I remember it being, but to get it on Blu Ray for the first time, figured why not. It was relatively inexpensive at Best Buy. Steelbook artwork's debatable. I've heard some people really don't like it, other people are kind of on the fence. I really don't care. I just want to get the movie in HD. I heard this is an older scan, but it's got to be an improvement over the old DVD, so hopefully it's good. Classic here, Rock and Roll High School, Steelbook, weird wrinkle there on the shrink wrap. I do believe this is a Scream Factory release, or a Shout Factory release, 40th anniversary. Can't pass up a Steelbook here. Alright, and we're back. Rock and Roll High School, Shout Factory, Steelbook, 40th anniversary. Haven't seen this one in a long time. Looking forward to opening it here and enjoying it again. Ramones are in it, so they're fantastic. Whether they're just goofing around or not. A good movie. Wet Hot American Summer on Blu Ray. This was cleaning up my Amazon list. Very inexpensive. Very, very funny movie with a fantastic cast. Let's see. Trading Places on Blu Ray. Again, my Amazon list cleanup. Very, very inexpensive. Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, and Jamie Lee Curtis. Really, really funny 80s comedy about greed. Let's see. Happy Birthday to Me. This was purchased at FYE recently. Mainly just because it had the slip cover. I don't know if this is becoming rare or not, but I wanted to get the slip. Can't get the sticker off, unfortunately. I don't know the quality of the film itself. I've heard some good, some bad about it. Maybe kind of a middle of the road kind of thing, but figured I'd pick it up. How bad could it be? It was like $10. So I got The Matrix on 4K. Haven't gone through this yet, but not a fan of the other two, but this is definitely one I'm hoping is a reference disc, because if it's going to look or sound, if there's a movie that's going to look or sound great on a modern system, it would be The Matrix. The other two you can keep. This should just be a standalone thing. First one was fantastic. Loved this movie. One of the first DVDs I purchased in a long time. This is the Foo Fighters Skin and Bones release. I think it was the same that was recorded for the CD. Now they just have the DVD version of it. It's been out for a long time. Again, it was on my Amazon list. Big Foo Fighters fan, so I figured I'd go ahead and pick it up and add it to my Foo Fighters collection. I've got a couple of things from them sitting around. And last but not least, the final thing from my Amazon list is the BBC series Spaced. Of course, starring Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. Probably could have got it for a little cheaper. I didn't really pay too much for it. And I don't know if this is ever to come out on Blu-ray, so I figured while I can get it on DVD for a decent price, I'll go ahead and pick it up. If it ever comes out on Blu-ray, I probably would pass, because I don't really care how much better it could look. It's a BBC-produced TV show, so... but real early Nick Frost, Simon Pegg collab. Really funny show. Really enjoyed it when I saw it back in the day, and figured it'd be a great addition to my collection. So... trying to keep it as short as possible. I got a lot of really cool stuff here. I got some more stuff coming from Vinegar Syndrome in the next couple of days, actually. It'll probably be in the next video. And I didn't expect to get this big of a haul in December, but things just kept on piling up. So I ended up with a really, really nice haul for the last month of the year, and hope to continue that going into 2020. So appreciate the views, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next month, if not before. Take care.